My dear child, something made you stop today. Not an accident, not a random moment, not a coincidence of timing or technology. Something deeper, something invisible but real, pulled you to this exact second. And before the noise of the world finds you again, before your phone buzzes and your mind races back to its endless list of worries, I need you to stay right here. Because what I am about to share with you has been waiting, quietly and carefully, for the precise moment when your heart would be open enough, still enough, and honest enough to receive it. This is not just another message. This is not background noise for your afternoon. This is a sacred interruption in the middle of your ordinary day, a holy pause that heaven itself has been building toward. And the fact that you are here, that your eyes are reading these words right now, is not something that happened by chance. I want you to know that from the very beginning. You were drawn here. You were led here. And what is waiting for you in these words is something your soul has been crying out for, even on the days when you did not have the language to describe what you were missing. So take a breath. Let your shoulders drop. Let the tension in your jaw soften. Let the weight you have been carrying since you woke up this morning be set down, just for now, just long enough to hear what I have to say. Because I have been waiting for this moment with more patience and more love than you can possibly imagine. And I am not going to waste a single second of it. You have been going through your days carrying something heavy. Not the kind of heavy that people can see on your face when they look at you across a table or pass you in a hallway. Not the kind of heavy that shows up in a medical report or a bank statement, though sometimes those things carry weight too. I am talking about the kind of heavy that lives deep inside your chest, in that quiet place behind your ribs, the place where your truest self lives and breathes and waits. It is the kind of heavy that does not have a name most of the time. It is just there, morning after morning, night after night, a steady presence beneath everything else you do. You have been smiling. You have been showing up. You have been doing what needs to be done, checking the boxes, fulfilling your obligations, taking care of the people around you. And you have done all of this with a kind of grace that is genuinely remarkable. But inside, beneath that grace, something has been aching. Something has been quietly and persistently whispering that there must be more than this, that you were not made for mere survival, that somewhere, somehow, the life you were meant to live is still waiting for you to find it. And that whisper, that longing, that persistent, unshakable sense that something more is possible, that was not your imagination working overtime. That was not wishful thinking or the fantasies of a restless mind. That was me. That was the voice of the one who made you, speaking into the deepest part of who you are, calling you forward, calling you home, calling you into the fullness of everything I designed you to be. I have been watching you, not from a cold distance, not with critical eyes scanning your performance and marking down your failures. I have been watching you the way a father watches a child. He loves more than words can hold, more than any human language has the capacity to express. I have been watching with the kind of attention that misses nothing, that sees through every surface and every smile, that knows you not just as you appear to the world, but as you truly are in your most private, most unguarded moments. And I want you to know what I have seen. I saw you last night, lying awake in the dark, staring at the ceiling with thoughts too tangled and too heavy to speak out loud. I saw the way your mind moved from worry to worry, building towers of fear in the darkness, knocking them down, building them again. I saw you reach for your phone, then put it back down, because somehow you knew that scrolling would not give you what you actually needed. You did not say a prayer. You would not even have known what to pray for. But your heart cried out anyway, silently, and desperately and honestly. And I heard every single word of that silence. I heard everything you could not say. I received everything you did not know how to offer. You thought no one noticed. You thought you were invisible in your pain, that you had hidden it well enough that it would not burden anyone, that you had packaged your suffering so neatly that it would pass undetected through all your daily interactions. But I want you to know, with a certainty that goes deeper than anything you have ever been told, I noticed. I always notice. There has not been a single tear you have cried in private that I did not see. There has not been a single moment of quiet desperation that I missed. I see the brave face you wear in public. I see the courage it takes to keep going on the days when going on feels impossible. I see the moments you almost gave up, but chose to keep walking anyway. One more step, one more breath, one more day. And every single one of those moments matters to me more than you know. Every single one is written down. Every single one counts. You have been so strong for so long. You have been strong for other people, holding space for their pain while quietly setting your own aside. You have been strong in your responsibilities, meeting deadlines and fulfilling expectations, and showing up even when showing up cost you more than anyone could see. My child, every video on this channel is created with love, faith, and dedication to sharing God's Word. If these messages inspire and encourage you, you can support our mission through the Ko-Fi or PayPal links in the description and pinned comment. Thank you for being part of this journey. You have been strong even when your own heart was breaking, even when you were running on empty, even when the reserves were so low that you were not sure there was anything left to give. And you have done all of this because you love, because you care, because somewhere deep inside you is a heart that cannot stop reaching toward others, even at great personal cost. But here is something I need you to hear clearly, something I need you to receive not just in your mind, but in the very center of your being. I never asked you to carry all of this alone. That was never my plan for you. You were not designed to hold the weight of everyone else's world on your shoulders, while neglecting the weight of your own soul. You were not built to be strong all the time in the way the world has asked you to be strong. That kind of relentless, unassisted strength was never what I had in mind when I fashioned you in the secret place. When I knit together every part of who you are with careful and intentional love, you were built for something far more beautiful than exhausting strength. You were built for peace that passes understanding. You were built for joy that does not depend on circumstances. You were built for purpose that runs so deep it sustains you even in the hardest seasons. You were built to be loved fully and completely and without condition by the one who made you and who has never stopped thinking about you, not for a single moment, since before you drew your first breath. And that love, my love for you, has never been based on how well you perform. It has never been a reward for getting everything right, or a prize for reaching a certain standard of spiritual achievement. It has never been something you had to earn by praying the right words in the right order, by showing up faithfully to every obligation, by having perfect faith in every difficult moment. My love for you existed before you ever did a single thing right. It existed before you were born, before you had a name, before the world had any idea you were coming. I chose you before you had a chance to prove yourself, and that choice has never wavered, never weakened, never been reconsidered, not even in your weakest moments, not even in the seasons when you wandered, not even in the hours when you forgot me completely. So let me say something now that might undo every lie you have believed about yourself, every story you have told yourself in the dark about who you are and what you deserve and whether you are worthy of good things. You are not too broken for me. You are not too far gone. You are not a disappointment. The things you see as failures, the places where you fell short, the moments when you chose wrong, the seasons when your faith crumbled and your hope ran dry, I see those things differently than you do. I see them as proof that you tried. I see them as evidence of a heart that kept reaching even when reaching was hard. The questions you carry, the doubts that visit you in the night, I do not call those rebellion. I call them proof that you are still searching, still hungry, still honest enough to admit that you do not have everything figured out. And that hunger, that honest searching, that refusal to be satisfied with easy answers, that is something I placed inside you on purpose. It is one of the things I love most about you. Now I want to tell you about something that has been happening beneath the surface of your days. Something you have felt, but perhaps not been able to name. There has been a strange restlessness growing in you lately, has there not? A sense that something is shifting, that the ground beneath your familiar routines is quietly moving, that the world you have built around yourself is somehow different than it used to be, even though you cannot point to exactly what has changed. Things that used to bring you comfort do not feel the same anymore. Pleasures that once satisfied feel hollow now. Routines that once felt safe feel strangely confining. And you have tried to push this feeling away, tried to explain it away, tried to call it tiredness or stress or just a difficult season. But it keeps coming back. I want to tell you what that feeling is. It is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is not evidence of a spiritual problem, or a mental weakness or an ungrateful heart. That restlessness, that holy discomfort, that sense of something shifting beneath your feet, that is me. That is the evidence of my movement in your life. I have been stirring the waters. I have been sending tremors through the comfortable structures you have been leaning on, not to punish you, not to make your life harder, but because I love you too much to let you stay comfortable in a space that is too small for who you are becoming. You see, child, there are seasons in a person's life when I allow disruption, because disruption is the only thing that creates the space needed for something new. I am not tearing your life down to destroy it. I am shaking the foundations of what is old and worn and no longer serving the destiny I have written for you, so that what remains after the shaking will be solid and lasting and truly mine. The patterns that have felt so familiar, the habits and rhythms and relationships and mindsets that have shaped your days, some of them need to go, not because they are evil, but because they belong to a version of you that is no longer the full picture. You have outgrown certain rooms, and I am the one who built those rooms, which means I know better than anyone when it is time to move into something larger. So do not be afraid of the disruption. Do not interpret the shaking as abandonment. Do not read the restlessness as evidence that you have lost your way. It is actually evidence of the opposite. It is evidence that I am here, actively at work, rearranging things on your behalf with a precision and a care that your human eyes cannot fully perceive. Trust the process, even when the process is uncomfortable. Trust the builder, even when you cannot see the blueprint. The discomfort is not your enemy. It is the sensation of growth, the feeling of expansion, the experience of a soul being stretched to hold more of the glory it was always meant to carry. If you are enjoying this message and finding it meaningful, take a moment right now to subscribe to this channel. There are people in your life who need to hear these words too. Share this with them. Let heaven use you as a messenger today. Now let me speak to the part of you that is tired. Not just physically tired, though I see that too, but the deeper kind of tired. The kind that sleep does not fix and vacations do not cure. The kind that comes from years of carrying things you were never meant to carry alone. From years of loving people who did not always love you back in the ways you needed. From years of hoping and waiting and trusting, and still not seeing the breakthrough you have been believing for. That kind of tired is real, and I do not minimize it. I do not brush past it with easy words or quick spiritual formulas. I sit with you in it. I acknowledge the weight of it. And then I say, with all the authority of heaven behind my voice, you do not have to carry this anymore. I want to tell you something about the nights you cried yourself to sleep when you thought no one could hear. I was there. I was in the room. I was closer to you than your own breathing. And when your tears came, I did not turn away. I did not grow impatient with your grief or wish you would pull yourself together faster. I leaned in. I counted every tear. I held every ache. And I said to the universe around you, I said to the darkness that pressed in on those long nights, this one is mine. This one I will not let go. This one has a story that is not finished yet, and I am the author, and I have not written the ending. And it is going to be more beautiful than anything either of us can currently see. You have prayed prayers in those dark nights that you did not believe would be heard. You have whispered requests into what felt like empty air, wondering if your words were just bouncing off the ceiling and falling back to the floor. You have had moments of faith followed by long seasons of doubt, moments of clarity followed by stretches of confusion. And through all of it, through every high and every low, every surge of belief and every crash of uncertainty, I was listening. Every word, every whisper, every groan that was too deep for language, but rose from somewhere true inside you. Heaven received all of it. Not one prayer was lost. Not one cry went unheard. Not one desperate midnight question fell into empty silence. The silence you experienced was not absence. I need you to understand this. When I went quiet, when the usual signs and confirmations and feelings of closeness seemed to disappear, it was not because I had moved on. It was not because I had grown tired of you, or given up on you, or decided you were not worth the effort. The silence was sacred. It was purposeful. It was doing something in you that the noise could never do. In the silence, I was shaping your character in ways that only silence can shape it. In the waiting, I was deepening your roots in ways that only waiting can deepen them. In the long stretches of what felt like nothing happening, I was doing everything, behind the scenes, in the unseen places, in the spiritual realm, that your physical eyes cannot access, but that is more real than anything you can touch. Think about the way a seed works. A seed goes into the ground, and for a long time, there is nothing to see. The ground looks exactly the same as it did before. Someone walking past would have no idea that anything was happening beneath the surface. But beneath the surface, something extraordinary is occurring. The seed is cracking open. It is sending out roots, reaching down into the darkness for water and nutrients and stability. It is doing all of this invisible, unwitnessed, unacknowledged work that will eventually produce something that everyone can see, something that rises above the surface and grows and bears fruit, and becomes exactly what it was always designed to be. But none of that visible, fruitful growth is possible without the hidden, underground, apparently nothing happening season. That is what my silence has been doing in you. That is what the waiting has been producing. And I promise you, the roots that have grown in you during this season of seeming stillness are deeper and stronger and more capable of holding what is coming than you can currently imagine. The fruit that is going to emerge from this season of underground growth is going to astonish you. It is going to make perfect sense of everything that felt like loss, like delay, like silence, like abandonment. You will look back at this very season and say, that was when it happened. That was when everything that mattered most was being built. My child, I also want to talk to you about the voices you have been surrounded by. Because it is not just the internal noise that has been challenging you. You have been swimming in a sea of external voices too, an endless tide of opinions and suggestions and well-meaning advice and confident predictions, all coming at you from every direction, all trying to tell you who you are and what you should do and what your life should look like. And I know how exhausting that is. I know how much energy it takes to wade through all of that, trying to figure out which voices are trustworthy and which are leading you astray, trying to distinguish genuine wisdom from confident sounding noise. People have spoken into your life, some of them with genuine love, some of them with mixed motives they were not even fully aware of, some of them with their own unhealed wounds shaping their advice, some of them with religious frameworks that were handed to them without question and passed on to you with equal confidence, but equal limitation. And you, being the person you are, you have tried to honor all of it. You have tried to be respectful and open and teachable. But something deep inside you has kept whispering that something is off, that the map people are handing you does not quite match the territory you are walking through, that the answers you are being given do not quite fit the questions you are actually asking. That inner whisper was discernment. That quiet but persistent sense of misalignment was not ingratitude or rebellion or pride. It was your spirit recognizing that no human voice, however wise and well-intentioned, however educated and experienced, carries the full weight of what you need. Human wisdom is real and valuable, and I work through it often. But it has limits. It is shaped by the limitations of human perspective, human experience, human understanding. And there are things I need to say to you that no human being can say. There are directions I need to give you that no counselor can provide. There are depths of knowing and being known that can only happen in the space between your spirit and mine. That is why nothing has fully satisfied you. That is why you have walked away from so many conversations, so many sermons, so many books and podcasts, and heartfelt conversations with trusted friends, feeling like something was still missing, because something was missing. Not what they were offering, not their sincerity or their love, but the particular thing that only I can provide: my presence, my voice, my specific personal, knowing you to your core love, speaking directly into your specific, personal, known only by me situation. And that is what is happening right now. This is not a recycled message for the general public. This is me, reaching through this moment, through these words, through the very specific circumstances that led you here today, speaking directly to you. To the real you, not the performed version. Not the one who has all the answers. Not the one who has it together. The you who is tired and hoping and a little bit scared and still, despite everything, still reaching. Now I want to address something that I suspect has been sitting in the background of your mind for a while, maybe for a very long while. The question of whether you have missed it, whether the window has closed, whether the season has passed, whether the dreams you once carried with such conviction have expired, whether the promises you once believed with such certainty have slipped away while you were not paying attention, or were not ready, or were too busy surviving to position yourself for receiving. I want to answer that question as clearly and as directly as I know how to answer anything. You have not missed it. Let me say that again, because I know how much you need to hear it, and how many layers of doubt and disappointment you need to hear it through. You have not missed it. You have not missed your moment. You have not forfeited your promise. You have not disqualified yourself through your failures or your delays or your long stretches of uncertainty. The dreams I placed in you are still alive. They are not fading. They are not decaying in some forgotten corner of what might have been. They are preserved, carefully and deliberately preserved, in a place where no amount of time and no collection of mistakes and no force of darkness can reach them or diminish them or steal them from you. I hear the argument your mind is making right now. It is saying, but look at the time that has passed. Look at the people who started where you started and have long since arrived. Look at the gap between where you are and where you thought you would be by now. Look at the opportunities that seemed to come and go without you being able to grasp them. And I want to respond to that argument, not with platitudes but with truth. I am not a God who operates on human timelines. I am not bound by the schedules that human ambition creates or the expectations that comparison generates. My timing is not late, even when it feels late by every human measurement. My timing is precise, calibrated to something that goes far beyond what you can see from where you are standing, calibrated to your readiness, calibrated to the readiness of the circumstances and the people and the opportunities that I am aligning on your behalf, calibrated to the glory of the story I am writing through your life, which is a story that will make sense in its entirety, even though right now you can only see a few pages at a time. Here is what I was doing in the years that felt like waiting. I was not ignoring you. I was not forgetting you. I was building you. I was deepening the roots of your character so that when the blessing came, it would not overwhelm you. I was expanding the capacity of your heart so that when the love arrived, you could receive it fully. I was maturing the wisdom in you so that when the open door appeared, you would know how to walk through it without destroying what you had been given. I was protecting you from things that looked like opportunities, but would have led you into exhaustion and disappointment and cycles you had already been through. Beloved child, we are committed to spreading hope, faith, and the message of Jesus Christ to people around the world. If you would like to help us continue this work, please visit our Ko-Fi or PayPal links below. Your kindness means more than words can express. Sometimes the most loving thing I can do is not give you what you ask for exactly when you ask for it. Sometimes the most loving thing I can do is make you wait. Not to punish you, not to test you in some cruel way, but to protect the gift itself and to protect you in your receiving of it. A door opened too early leads to a room you are not yet equipped to inhabit. A blessing delivered too soon becomes a burden instead of a breakthrough. And I love you too much. I am too invested in your well-being, too committed to your flourishing, to set you up for that kind of collapse. But hear me now. The season is shifting. The long winter of waiting is giving way to something new. The roots I have been growing in the darkness are about to push through the surface and become visible. And when they do, when the breakthrough that has been forming underground finally breaks through into the light of your daily life, you are going to understand everything. You are going to look back at every closed door and every detour and every long stretch of silence, and you are going to see not abandonment, not punishment, not cosmic indifference, but love. Intentional, strategic, knowing love. Love that was always working, always moving, always building toward this. Child, there is something else I need to say to you. Something about the way you have been measuring your own worth and your own progress. You have been using the wrong measuring stick. You have been holding your life up against the lives of people around you, comparing your insides to their outsides, comparing the reality of your private struggle to the curated presentation of their public success. And I understand why. Human beings are wired to compare. It is one of the ways you make sense of where you are. But in this case, it is destroying you. It is feeding a lie that has no business living in your mind. Stop comparing your journey to theirs. Stop measuring your pace against their pace. I did not give them your calling, and I did not give you theirs. I did not assign them your timeline, and I did not assign you theirs. The way I move in one person's life looks completely different from the way I move in another's, because each person is completely different. Each story is completely unique. Each destiny is specifically and intentionally crafted for the individual who carries it. Comparing your journey to someone else's is like comparing the growth rate of an oak tree to the growth rate of a wildflower. Both are growing. Both are exactly what they are supposed to be. But they grow differently. They flower differently. They bear fruit differently. And neither one is behind or ahead because they are not on the same trajectory. You are not in competition with anyone. You are not racing anyone to a finish line. You are walking a path that was designed specifically for you, at a pace that I am setting with your specific constitution and calling and capacity in mind. And when you finally arrive at what I have prepared for you, you will arrive exactly on time. Not a day late, not a moment too soon, but precisely, unmistakably, undeniably on time. Now I want to speak to you about something that many people are afraid to think about, but that is absolutely essential for you to understand right now. I want to talk to you about the things that are ending in your life. Because some things are ending, you have felt it. Certain relationships feel different. Certain seasons feel like they are closing. Certain chapters that were important and meaningful and good are coming to a natural conclusion, and the ending feels like loss, even when the ending is necessary, even when the ending is loving, even when the ending is the doorway to something better. When things end, human hearts tend to interpret the ending as failure. If it is over, something must have gone wrong. If it is finished, someone must have done something wrong. If the season has closed, somehow the blessing was lost. But I want to reframe endings for you, because the endings I orchestrate are never failures. They are completions. They are the natural, necessary conclusion of chapters that have accomplished what they were meant to accomplish, that have given what they were meant to give, that have built in you what they were meant to build, and that now need to release you forward so that the next chapter can begin. Do not cling to endings. Do not try to resurrect what I have completed. Do not pour your energy into restoring what I have purposefully allowed to conclude. The grief of an ending is real, and I do not rush you through it. But I do want you to trust me in it. I want you to believe that the same God who created the good things you are losing is also the creator of the new things that are coming. And the new things that are coming are not lesser replacements. They are fuller expressions of what I always intended. They are the next movement of the symphony I am composing through your life. And the next movement is more complex, more beautiful, more resonant than the last. This is not the end of your story. This is a page turn. And what is on the next page has been waiting there, written by my hand, since before this page began. Step forward into the turning. Let the old chapter close with grace, and open yourself to what comes next with the expectation of someone who knows the author and trusts his intentions. My beloved, I also want to address the weight of what others have said about you, because people have said things. Words have been spoken over you that were not mine. Judgments have been made. Assumptions have been formed. And some of those words have gotten inside you in ways you did not intend to allow, have taken up residence in the architecture of yourself, understanding, have shaped the way you see yourself, and what you believe you are capable of, and what you think you deserve. I saw what was said. I heard the words spoken in rooms you were not in. I witnessed the misunderstandings that were never corrected, and the wounds that were never acknowledged, and the dismissals that cut deeper than the person who offered them had any idea. And I want to tell you something about every single one of those words. They were not my voice. Every voice that told you that you were too much or not enough, that was not me. Every voice that defined you by your worst moments, that was not me. Every voice that predicted limitation for your future based on the failures of your past, that was not me. Every voice that compared you unfavorably to others, that reduced you to your mistakes, that made you feel like an afterthought, or a disappointment or a burden, none of those voices were mine. And none of them, not one, carry authority over your identity or your destiny. I am the only voice that speaks with genuine authority over who you are and what you are worth and what your future holds. And here is what my voice says. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Not accidentally assembled, not carelessly thrown together, but intentionally, lovingly, specifically designed. You carry gifts that this world needs. You carry a perspective that no one else carries, a combination of experiences and insights and capacities that is completely unique to you. That serves a purpose in the larger story of what I am doing in this world, that cannot be replaced or duplicated or outsourced to someone else. You are not interchangeable. You are not generic. You are one of a kind, held in my hands with a specificity of love that encompasses every detail of who you are. The words people have spoken over you do not define you. What I say about you defines you. And what I say is this: you are loved. You are chosen. You are called. You are capable, not in your own strength, but in mine, which is available to you in full measure. You are not a mistake. You are not a failed experiment. You are not someone who slipped through the cracks of divine attention. You are mine, held by me, known by me, celebrated by me. And I have not changed my mind about you, not once, not ever, not for a single heartbeat of eternity. Now let me talk about something that is very practical and very real, because I do not want this message to be only about feelings and assurances, as important as those things are. I want to talk about the next steps, about what comes next for you, about the practical reality of moving forward from this moment into the life I have for you. The first thing you need to do is simpler than you think, but harder than it sounds. You need to stop. Not forever, not from your responsibilities or your relationships or the good work you are doing in the world. But you need to stop the frantic doing, the constant filling of silence, the compulsive reaching for distraction whenever stillness begins to fall. You need to create space, regular, intentional, non-negotiable space for my voice to reach you. My voice is not loud. It does not shout over the noise of a busy life. It does not compete with the endless stream of content and conversation and business that fills every corner of your days. My voice is still and small, and it requires quiet to be heard. Not the quiet of emptiness, not the quiet of spiritual performance, just the genuine quiet of a heart that has put down its agenda long enough to listen. You know what that kind of quiet feels like. You have experienced it before. Those unexpected moments when suddenly something becomes clear, when a thought arrives that you know is not just your own, when you feel the unmistakable sense of being heard and held and guided. I want more of that for you. And more of that requires less of other things, so make space. Wake up a few minutes earlier. Turn the music off on the drive to work sometimes. Put the phone down in the evenings, not as religious performance, not to earn points with me, but because you actually want to hear me, and that is what hearing me requires. It is not complicated. It is just countercultural. In a world that rewards business and fills every silence with noise, choosing to be still is a radical act of trust. It is saying, I believe there is a voice worth hearing that I have been drowning out, and I am going to do something about that. The second thing is to start trusting what you already know. You have had moments of clarity, moments of strong inner knowing, moments when something in your gut or your spirit said go this way or not this way, and you listened or you did not, and you saw the results of both. That inner knowing is not random intuition. It is not just psychology or emotion or wishful thinking. That is me, working through the spirit I have placed in you, guiding you, protecting you, redirecting you. Learn to trust it more. Learn to distinguish between the voice of fear and the voice of wisdom. Fear rushes you. Wisdom settles you. Fear makes you anxious and frantic. Wisdom makes you clear and grounded, even when the decision is hard, even when the path is uncertain. My child, this ministry exists to bring encouragement, prayer, and God's truth to every heart that needs it. You can stand with us through the Ko-Fi or PayPal links in the description and pinned comment. May God bless you abundantly for your love and support. Beloved child, when you feel that settling, that clarity, that quiet certainty that points you in a particular direction, trust it. Act on it. I will not mislead you. The third thing is to be honest about where you are. Not performatively honest, not the kind of honesty that is just a new kind of performance, but genuinely, privately, in the quiet of your own heart, honest with yourself and with me, about what is real for you right now, about what you are struggling with, about what you are afraid of, about what you are hoping for, about what you have given up on, about what you still believe, even barely, and what has become genuinely hard to believe. That kind of honesty is not weakness. It is not a failure of faith. It is actually the foundation on which real faith is built, because real faith does not pretend that everything is fine when everything is not fine. Real faith brings everything to me, the good and the broken and the confused and the beautiful, and trusts me to hold all of it with love. And the fourth thing, the thing that might be the hardest of all, is to receive. To actually let yourself receive what I am offering. You have become so practiced at giving, at caring for others, at holding space for other people's needs, that receiving has become foreign to you. You deflect care when it comes. You minimize your own needs. You feel guilty when someone prioritizes you. But child, you were not made only to give. You were made for exchange. You were made to receive love and let it fill you and spill out of you into the world. And I have been trying to pour into you, consistently and generously, for a long time now. Let me in. Let the love I have for you actually land. Let it change the way you see yourself and the way you move through the world. You deserve to be filled, not just emptied. You deserve to be held, not just to hold. You deserve to receive what you have been giving so freely to everyone else. My child, now I want to talk about something that is central to everything else, something without which nothing else I am saying will fully make sense. I want to talk about trust. Real trust. The kind that is not based on being able to see the road ahead. The kind that is not contingent on things going the way you expect them to go. The kind that does not evaporate when the circumstances become confusing or painful or slow. This kind of trust is rare. It is not the default setting of the human heart. The human heart naturally wants to see before it believes, wants evidence before it commits, wants guarantees before it steps forward. And I understand that. I designed the human mind to work that way in many contexts. But there is a dimension of life, the most important dimension, where seeing is not the starting point, where waiting for guarantees means waiting forever, where the step of faith has to come before the parting of the sea. I am asking you to trust me with the things you cannot control. And I know that list feels long right now. The relationship you are not sure about, the health situation that is unresolved, the financial pressure that has not lifted, the family dynamic that has not improved, the prayer that has been prayed so many times you have lost count, the hope that has been deferred so often it has started to feel like heartbreak. I am asking you to bring all of those things, every single one of them, and place them in my hands, not with the expectation that I will immediately fix everything in the way you want it fixed, but with the genuine, Lived out trust that I see more than you see. I know more than you know. I love you more than you love yourself, and I am working in all of it even when the working is invisible. Trust is not a feeling. I want you to understand that clearly. Trust is not the warm sense of certainty that everything will be okay. Trust is the choice to keep walking forward, even when that warm feeling is completely absent. Trust is what you do in the dark, not what you feel in the light. And it is built not overnight, not in a single dramatic moment of surrender, but day by day, decision by decision, moment by moment of choosing to believe in my goodness, even when your circumstances are arguing loudly for despair. And here is what I promise you in return for that trust. I will never leave you alone in the darkness. I will never set you down in the middle of a hard place and walk away. I will never give you a calling and then withhold the grace needed to fulfill it. I will never allow anything to touch your life that is beyond my power to redeem. Every hard thing, every painful season, every dark night, every disappointment, every loss, every delay, every confusion I will use. I will use all of it, not as a consolation prize, not as the best I can do given the mess, but as material. As raw material that my hands can transform into something that glorifies me and blesses you, and tells a story that points others toward hope. Nothing in your life is wasted in my hands. Not one moment, not one experience, not one tear. Now, precious one, I need to say something about the people around you, the ones who have been placed in your life for this particular season. Some of them you have recognized as gifts. Others you have found confusing or difficult, or have quietly pulled away from, because the relationship asked more than you felt you had to give. And I want you to know that I see every relationship in your life, every one, with clarity about its purpose and its season, and its role in the story I am writing. Some of the people in your life right now are there because they need what you carry. They need your particular kind of presence, your specific way of seeing, your hard-won wisdom, your capacity for compassion that was forged in your own suffering. And yes, I know that feels like a lot when you are already running low. But here is what you may not know. The act of giving, when it comes from a heart that is connected to me as its source, does not deplete you. It actually draws more from the inexhaustible supply of what I have for you. When you give in partnership with me, rather than from your own diminishing reserves, the giving becomes generative rather than exhausting. You pour out and I pour in, and the flow never runs dry, because the source is not you, it is me, flowing through you. And some of the people in your life right now are there because they carry something you need. They are positioned to speak into you, to strengthen you, to model something for you, to love you in a way that you have not yet received. Be open to that. Let down the walls that pain has built up around your heart. Not naively, not without discernment, but genuinely, humbly open to being loved by the people I have placed in your path. You are not meant to do this alone. Community was not a suggestion. It was a design feature. You need others and others need you. And the exchange between you is one of the most beautiful things I have ever created. Let me speak now about something that I suspect you have been wrestling with in the quiet hours, in the honest moments when you are not performing for anyone, and you are just being real with yourself, and with whatever you believe about me. I want to talk about the gap between who you want to be and who you actually are. That gap is real, and I am not asking you to pretend it is not. You have ideals. You have convictions. You have a vision of the person you want to be, the kind of faith you want to have, the quality of love you want to show, the consistency of character you want to embody. And then there is the reality, the moments of impatience, the days of unbelief, the failures of courage or compassion or consistency, the ways you fall short of your own best intentions, repeatedly, frustratingly, in patterns that sometimes feel like they will never change. I want to say something about that gap that might surprise you. The gap does not disqualify you. The gap is not evidence that you are fundamentally flawed in some way that puts you beyond reach. The gap is evidence that you are human. Every person I have ever called, every person whose story is told in the pages of sacred history, every man and every woman who was ever used for something significant in the world, they all had a gap, often a very large one. The gap between who they were and who they were becoming was sometimes enormous. And what I did with all of them, what I do with you, is I do not require them to close the gap before I use them. I work in the gap. I move in the midst of the inconsistency and the weakness and the ongoing process of becoming. I use imperfect people, fully aware of their imperfection, because that is the only kind of people there are. So stop waiting until you are better to receive my love. Stop putting your life on hold until you have gotten over your struggles, or sorted out your doubts, or achieved some level of spiritual maturity that you imagine will finally make you worthy. You are worthy right now, not because of who you are or what you have achieved, but because of who I am and what I have done. My son carried the cost of your imperfection so that you would never have to carry it. That transaction was complete before you were born, and nothing you do or fail to do changes its completeness. Come as you are. That is not a slogan. It is an invitation. Come as you are, and let me love you into becoming. My child, we are moving into the most important part of what I want to say to you today, and I want you to receive it with every part of your being open, every wall down, every defense surrendered. Because what I am about to say is the thing I most want you to know, the truth that I most want to become the foundation of everything you believe about yourself, and about me, and about the life that is ahead of you. I am for you, not in a passive, distant, good, luck out, there kind of way. Not in the way of a creator who set things in motion and then stepped back to watch. My child, if these messages have brought peace to your heart, strengthened your faith, or reminded you of God's love, please consider supporting this ministry through the Ko-Fi or PayPal links below. Together, we can continue sharing hope and God's Word with countless souls around the world. Dear child, I am actively, passionately, relentlessly, completely for you. I am on your side in every moment, in every circumstance, in every battle, in every question, in every dark night, in every uncertain morning. There is no version of your life in which I have become your opponent. There is no scenario in which my will and your well-being are working against each other. I designed your well-being. I am its author, and I will not contradict my own purposes. This means that the difficult things in your life are not evidence of my opposition. They are the context in which my commitment to you is most fully revealed. It is easy to trust a God who only allows good things. It is transformative to discover a God who is present and working and committed even in the hard things, who does not abandon you when the circumstances become painful, who does not reconsider his investment in you when you go through seasons that look like failure from the outside, but are actually formation from the inside. I am for you in your confusion. I am for you in your grief. I am for you in your questions and your doubts and your long stretches of not feeling anything. I am for you when you are at your best, and I am for you when you are at your worst. I am for you in the moments when you barely remember I exist, and in the moments when you cling to me like the only solid thing in a world that is coming apart. In all of it, through all of it, I am for you. That is not a seasonal commitment. That is not a conditional arrangement. That is a covenant, sealed with the most costly thing in the universe, the life of the one I loved most, and it cannot be broken. I want you to take that truth, and let it become the lens through which you see everything else. Let it become the filter through which you interpret every circumstance. When something good happens, see it as an expression of a God who is for you. When something hard happens, see it as evidence of a God who is still for you, and who is at work in ways you cannot yet see. When nothing seems to be happening at all, trust that a God who is for you does not take seasons off, does not become distracted, does not forget where you are or what you need. He is always working, always building, always moving in the direction of your good, even when the movement is completely invisible to you. Let this truth change how you pray. Let it change how you wait. Let it change how you receive both the blessings and the difficulties of your life. Let it change the baseline of your heart from anxiety to expectation, from fear to faith, from a sense of surviving to a sense of being held by the one who invented love and who has never, not for a single moment, stopped directing it toward you. And as that truth settles into you, as it begins to displace the fear and the striving and the performance and the desperate need for approval, something else will begin to happen. You will find that you are becoming freer. Freer to be yourself, fully and unapologetically yourself, without the constant anxiety of whether who you are is acceptable and adequate and enough. Freer to love others without the fear that loving will leave you depleted and unprotected. Freer to take risks, to step out in faith, to pursue the dreams and the callings that I have placed in you, knowing that even if a particular step does not work out exactly as you hope, you are not in danger. You are held, you are supported. You are loved by someone who is bigger than your mistakes, and more creative than your failures, and more committed to your story than any setback could undo. You were made for freedom, child. Not the shallow freedom of doing whatever you want whenever you want, but the deep, transforming, expanding freedom of someone who has nothing to prove and nothing to fear, because they know who holds them, and they trust that holding. That is the life I have for you, and it begins here. It begins in this moment. It begins with the decision to believe, really believe, in the love I have for you and the commitment I have made to your flourishing. Now let me say something that pulls all of this together. Something that I want to be the thing you carry with you when you walk away from this moment and back into the ordinary hours of your day. Everything I have said to you, every assurance, every promise, every declaration of love and commitment and faithfulness, all of it rests on one thing: my nature, who I am, not what you have done or not done, not the quality of your faith or the consistency of your obedience, not your track record or your potential or your spiritual accomplishments. My love for you is not a response to anything you have generated. It is an expression of who I am, and who I am does not change. I was loved before you were born. I will be loved long after the universe, as you know, it has been transformed into something new and unimaginably beautiful. And in the time that you inhabit this life, in this body, on this earth, in this particular historical moment, I am loved toward you. Specifically, personally, unfailingly, completely toward you. That is the ground you stand on. That is the foundation under everything else. That is the thing that will hold when everything else shakes. So take a breath, child. Take a slow, deep, deliberate breath and let it carry into your body the truth that has been true about you since before you drew your first breath. You are loved. You are held. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not too broken. You are not too far. You are right here, right now, held in the hands of the one who made you. And those hands are steady, and they are strong, and they are not letting go. The journey ahead of you is not going to be easy. I am not going to promise you smooth roads and uncomplicated seasons and effortless progress. The journey ahead of you is going to ask things of you. It is going to stretch you. It is going to call you to courage in moments when courage is the hardest thing in the world. It is going to ask you to trust me in circumstances where trust feels like the most irrational choice available. It is going to bring you face to face with the limits of your own strength, your own wisdom, your own capacity, so that again and again you discover that those limits are not the end of the story, because my strength and my wisdom and my capacity are available to you without limit, and they are released in your life in proportion to your surrender and your trust. But through it all, through every hard thing and every confusing season and every moment of doubt and every experience of loss, I will be there. Not as a distant observer, not as a disappointed critic, as a father, as a friend, as the one who knows you best and loves you most and has committed everything to the fullness of your story. I will be there in the middle of it, closer than your own breathing, working in every moment for your good, turning everything that comes against you into something that ultimately works for you, because that is what I promised and I do not break my promises. You are going to be okay, more than okay. You are going to arrive at the fullness of what I planned for you. And when you get there, you are going to look back at the road that brought you, every difficult mile of it, and you are going to say it was worth it. Not because the hard things were not hard, not because the pain was not real, but because the destination is so beautiful and the person you became on the way is so much more than you would have been without the journey, and the love that held you through every step of it is so evident in every part of who you are that the story makes sense. The whole story, even the parts that hurt, even the parts you would have skipped if the choice had been yours. Your story is not finished yet, my beloved. The most significant chapters are still being written. The most beautiful revelations are still ahead. The deepest experiences of my love and my presence are still to come. And I am here, right now in this moment, holding your hand and holding your future and holding every broken piece of everything that has hurt you. And I am building something with all of it that will leave you breathless. Trust me. Stay with me. Keep going. I am not finished with you. I have not even gotten to the best part yet. And I promise you, child, from the depths of a love that has no end and no limit and no condition, the best part is coming. It is already on the way. Heaven is moving on your behalf even as you read these words. Angels are at work in the unseen places. Doors are being prepared that no human hand has opened. Connections are being arranged that you could not have orchestrated on your own. Provisions are being positioned. Healings are in motion. Restorations are being planned. The answer to the prayer you have prayed longest is closer to arrival than it has ever been. Stay open. Stay surrendered. Stay honest with me. Keep showing up, even imperfectly, even on the hard days, even when you are not sure of anything except that I exist and you need me. That is enough. That has always been enough. And from that simple, honest place of needing me and reaching for me, I will do what I have always done. I will show up. I will speak. I will move. I will make a way. I will be everything you need and more than you knew to ask for. Because that is who I am, and I am yours, and you are mine, and nothing in all of creation will ever change that. This is my love for you, child. This is my heart for you. This is my voice speaking into your right now, into your specific and beautiful and not yet finished life. Receive it, believe it, walk forward in it, and watch what I do next. I love you. I have always loved you. I will love you forever. And that is the most solid, most real, most unshakable thing in the universe. Now go forward, my beloved. Go forward with your head lifted and your heart open and your hands ready to receive what I have been preparing for you. Go forward not in your own strength but in mine. Go forward not with certainty about every step, but with trust in the one who knows every step and has already been there. Go forward knowing that you are seen, you are known, you are loved, you are held, and you are never ever alone. The best is not behind you. It is ahead. And I will be with you every single step of the way.